Hello, and welcome to Lifetime in Court, the podcast where we discuss your favorite made-for-TV movies. Whether you love to hate watch or hate yourself for loving them, pour up a glass of your favorite cocktail and join us. I am your host, Patrick Serrano, and my guests today are...
I am Drew Current.
Sam.
There we go. Sam is in the house with a beer.
Sam's last name is actually, it's hard to pronounce, but it is...
Yeah.
How I roll. What can I say?
Hey, It's been a long time coming. I wanted to get Sam for Christmas, which I still will because that would be hilarious. But I had to ease her in. So grumpy.
Grumpy.
You can't have Sam just like jump into a Christmas. I think she might die. Yeah. So we had to do a Lifetime classic movie. Sam, you don't watch a lot of Lifetime, I take it.
No, and it took me 4 tries to get through this one, so okay. Just to let you know.
There we go. 4 tries. Wow.
4 tries.
You're very committed. I appreciate the commitment.
I took
You had to take a shower. You started one, you're like, I gotta take a shower.
Pretty much.
Yeah, totally. Drew, the movie today is a Lifetime classic. It is called Stalked by My Doctor.
Oh, no. Uh-oh.
And this, for real, started like a whole franchise. There's like Stalked by My Doctor, Stalked by My Doctor, The Return, Stalked by My Doctor,
Revenge.
Patient Revenge, Stalked by My Doctor, Sleepwalker Nightmare or something. I mean, it gets crazy. It gets crazy.
Awesome.
All starring Eric Roberts, who we know, Julia Roberts' brother.
Yeah, dude.
Academy Award nominee, Eric Roberts.
Big time, man. He's all over.
He's the third most prolific actor in all time.
Really?
Yes. It's insane.
His IMDb is crazy.
Yeah, he's just in like everything. Like he's in every movie I've ever seen, I think.
He must be a good guy and everyone likes working with him because dude never stops.
Right?
Ever.
Nuts.
Well, and he's a good actor. Like he's good at acting.
Exactly. Well, and the great thing about him is that for a Lifetime movie, he knows he's in a Lifetime movie, so it gets a little crazy.
Yeah. It's pretty nice. He's
cool.
Good. I enjoy him.
Movie also stars Brianna Joy Chomer and Deborah Zoe. You know, those old faves.
Yeah.
They're just the best. So, jumping into the movie, Sam, I didn't say this before we started recording, but I'll kind of run through plot points and you interject with, like, this was crazy or whatever, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. I usually, like, watch the movie right before recording, but it's been, like, a crazy week, and I didn't. So, you know, take this with a grain of salt, you know? It's my remembering of what happened. It might not have been what
I have notes.
actually happened. Oh, good. There we go.
Yep.
So the movie starts out. We are in like an expensive, like fancy restaurant, and like jazz music is playing.
So slow jazz. So slow.
The diners are all drinking martinis, like that type of vibe.
Is it like do do ding do
Yeah,
do?
you know what? I think you are the composer, Drew.
I wrote the music for this.
Right there.
Yeah, that's it. And we have Dr. Albert Beck. That's Eric Roberts. And he's waiting for his date. He like had an online date and he's waiting for her to come. And he gets a phone call and she's like, not happening. Like you think it's going to be like a surgery being like, oh, we need you, Dr. Whoever. But no, it's the date being like, don't contact me ever again. I'm blocking you on social media. You're crazy.
Whoa.
Right. And there's like no setup for this, by the way. It's just like all hot, like just all of a sudden she's like, step off, motherfucker, and he's all pissed. So
yeah, and you would think like you're in the middle of a movie or whatever because it's
no intro
out of nowhere. But he gets so angry, he jumps into his car and starts speeding his car on the highway 120 miles an hour, screaming and like hitting the steering wheel.
Yep.
You know, and then we get the title card. Stalked by my doctor.
Oh,
Dun,
no.
dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. And then immediately cut to like the most peppy, happy music you've ever heard in your life.
Like so generic, like mid 2000s music too, or 2000 teens, right? This was 2017 or 2015 it was filmed.
Yeah,
It's
2015.
like generic pop.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Electric guitar.
We meet Sophie. She's at high school, and she has her friend Caitlin. They have like little boyfriends who are playing soccer, and they're like watching. It's like an MTV special type of vibe. And Caitlin gets accepted into college, and Sophie also gets. They're like going to college. They're like living their best lives.
Yeah, but Sophie was like, I'm too scared to open my letter. So then Caitlin was like, I'll open it for you. And it went through this quintessential, like, I'm sorry to tell you. And then there was the sad moment. And then she screams it up with like, you've been accepted. It was so dumb. And I just hated it. That was point one where I had to turn it off, by the way. So I was like, oh.
And you had to like go outside and you just had to sit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that time I took a stroll around the apartment and I stopped and looked at Jer for a little bit without saying anything. And then I just walked away and turned it back on.
There you go. Well, because that scene also has nothing to do with anything. So it's just like you're learning characters' names, which is important in a Lifetime movie. And then that's it, So they're going to be roommates in college. It's going to be great. Sophie and Ryan, her boyfriend, are going to go like for a drive. They're going to go to a party or whatever. And he's like texting and driving.
Well, wait, first they're making out and driving.
Right.
Which is fine.
They're dead.
It comes into play in my mind.
Yeah, because, making out and driving, totally fine. I don't see PSAs about that. But texting and driving, very shameful. And she's like, don't text and drive. And he's like, what's the worst that can happen? And then they like immediately get into a car crash.
Literally the worst thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
What's the worst that could happen? Yeah. The worst
This
thing.
Whole movie is a don't text and drive commercial. That's really what this movie is.
Good.
Giant PSA.
Well,
I'm
and
all for it.
You really shouldn't text and drive, everyone. So just so we are clear,
if
you're listening to this podcast in your car and you're texting your friend to listen to the episode, please pull over.
Just pull over.
Just pull over.
Or just wait a minute.
Yeah.
Just wait.
Yeah.
We're not going anywhere.
We're not going anywhere. So Dr. Beck is a cardiologist, and he is like tasked with fixing Sophie because I guess somehow in the car accident she hurts her heart or something. Very vague medical.
The whole medical thing is very vague, and he's a cardiologist. He's not like a chief cardiac surgeon, which is actually a really big differentiating point that they don't really even touch on. But whatever, he would not do surgery. Long story short.
Right. It's a Lifetime movie. The medical stuff is very fast and loose.
We
had a PA, physician's assistant thing that happened on this podcast where we didn't know what that was at all, and we still don't because we're only going from what Lifetime tells us.
That's all we know. The only things we know is from Lifetime.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll scratch my medical notes that I made.
Oh no, your medical notes.
Oh no, they're good.
They're good.
They're good.
We just aren't very educated. So if you know more, please tell us. That's important. After he shouts a bunch of medical jargon, the doctor, it was Eric Roberts just being like, scalpel.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
50 cc's, blah, 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 blah.
It was great. And then he asked Sophie, he's like, hey, do you like sushi?
Yeah.
And he's like, when you feel better, I'm going to take you out. Yeah. She's lying in the hospital, like
the ER. She's about to go into major surgery. Like her parents are on their way in, and he's like, your daughter is gonna die because her rib broke and punctured her heart or an artery. Like you said, very vague what actually happened.
Is he trying to comfort her or distract her?
He's asking her out on a date.
Well, he's hoodwinking her, basically, because, she also, the whole statement is, you really can't talk right now because you're in an extreme amount of pain. So he's like, we're going to go out for sushi. And she's like,
She's right. Okay. I
My
would
heart is
be
dying.
100% down for a sushi date with Eric Roberts. By the way,
Sure.
Eric, if you're listening and you want to take me out for sushi, I'm down 100%. So, since Sophie can't consent to that, her ambiguous surgery goes well. She's on the road to recovery. He comes into her room, and then he like does this really weird thing where he like she's like asleep or like
Yeah,
in the
she's still knocked out. She's under.
He's like tracing her face,
Yeah.
finger, and then he like kisses her.
Super creepy.
He kisses her while she's passed out.
Yeah.
God. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So, this was made before
Sure.
Me Too movement, and it's like extra creepy.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Everything about this is like creepy and then beyond creepy. It's like, oh, why?
I think it's weird, like watching shows and movies now, like where even like what creeps me out now is like, why aren't these people wearing masks?
Oh my God, I do that all the time.
It's so weird. Like it's weird. I'm like, oh wait,
Yeah, this is
fake.
four times. This is four times.
This is before.
We're
Right.
This is before Trash World began.
Yep.
So Dr. Beck goes on another date with like a Wilson Phillips reject.
Wait, you're missing something.
This is why you're here, Sam.
So he kisses her when she's still under, and then her parents come in, and he shakes his dad's hand, and his dad is like, or her dad is like, thank you for saving my daughter. And her mom turns around, and this was the second point I had to take a pause, because the mom turns around and was like, thank you for saving my daughter. I wish, if she were awake right now, I'm sure she would just want to give you a kiss. So I'm going to give you a kiss. So she like jumps on him, plants one on him. And he's all like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool, right? And then we go to the next date scene.
Yes.
Like in front of the dad?
Yes, in front of the dad, in front of everything. Like, this is her, 18-year-old daughter, we're presuming, because she just got accepted into college.
Mm-hmm.
It's nuts.
For legal reasons, she's 18.
Yeah.
So, just so it's not that creepy. It's not.
So it's not on that end of things. Yeah.
Right, thank God.
Right.
But the dad also is like, he doesn't care about anything, and he's just like there in the movie, like in the background the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
We'll get to it. So on the date, very important. Picture the girl from Wilson Phillips who's not Carney, and that's who it is. She got like the bowl cut, and Dr. Beck's like showing her pictures. He's like, I have a mansion in Mexico in Cabo, and he's like, quit your job, start a family with me, raise my children, let's have babies.
Because that's the biggest thing you want on a first date is like, they're my children, right? Like that is, so yes, it's escalating the creepy factor.
And she's like, you're a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
You need to go see a therapist.
Yeah.
And you're a bad person.
Well,
exactly.
And he keeps coming on to it too. Like he doesn't like, oh, okay, we're done. Like no social hints at all.
No.
He's just like, do it.
And he's like, it's weird. This has happened to me before. Can you tell me why? Like you're leaving? And she's like, I'm leaving because you're really creeping me out. And then she like gets up, she grabs her purse, she's going to the door, and he calls after. He's like, well, you're a fat ass bitch.
Yeah, like just random, like. In front of the whole restaurant, and like everyone, like in the.
Well, you're ugly.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
It's nuts, and like everyone in the restaurant just like the slow turn, but not. Yeah. No one is interjecting. They're just like, oh, that man is being crazy to a woman. We're going to sit politely and ignore this.
It's like an episode of What Would You Do with John Quinones. He's like waiting for people to like pop out and be like, that's not right, and that's what I would do if I was there. But no, like. Dr. Beck chases the woman outside. She's like getting really scared, and she's like, this is crazy. Like, do not touch me. Like, leave me alone. And then he's like, well, it doesn't matter because I wasn't interested in you anyways.
Well, and that's when he's also like, I have a girl already. It's Sophie. She's 18 and she's beautiful and like even more creepy. So we're just like escalating the creepy factor. It's like he's one-upping himself at this point.
Right.
And we're only like literally 4 scenes into the movie. This is in the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like, it's kind of like at this point, it's like, I get it. He's the villain.
Right?
I get it. Thank you.
Yes.
And they don't back down from that, Drew. This movie like takes a villain and like pushes it to the extreme.
Yes. There is
So-
no stopping Dr. Beck.
We are back in the hospital. Sophie is recovering, but she's banged up. You know, she's got like bruises and stuff, but she's still like, you know, pretty. And without gloves on, he like puts ointment on her scars, like
Which is
he, like,
mysteriously on her abdomen. I'm very confused how that works. Like, your heart is not actually, like, in your stomach. I mean,
maybe they did a
Wait, what?
laparoscopic something through the belly, and they go up through the belly. And
I
like,
get it.
And into the heart and through your butthole and then back into your back and into your
that's
lungs
it.
and
That's
in
it.
your heart.
Like Dr. Beck, you should be chief cardiac surgeon or
Hey,
cardiologist.
I know the body.
Well, you
I know
know,
the body.
the censors were like, you cannot show boobies at Lifetime, so
Pretty
they were like,
much.
let's show it. Let's show a navel.
Down. Yes. But
So-
you're right, it was super weird.
It was very weird,
I
and
mean,
he's
she
like,
could have also gotten like cut at her stomach too.
sure.
Yes.
He's like asking her about her boyfriend. He's like, and she's like, you know, I'm just worried about being horribly disfigured. And he's like, you'll always be beautiful to me.
Also, like, the cuts on her face were like 3 tiny nicks. Right?
Yes.
Like, there was no, like, horrible
Ew.
disfigurement. Like,
Disgusting. 3?
yeah, I know. Off, done forever.
Good done.
Clearly not worth anyone's time.
Get
right?
her away from me.
So
Well-
overemphasis also on like physical appearance, whatever, whatever, blah blah blah.
So the mom
Freak.
is also like, she isn't there for the examination, but she comes back and she's like, oh, the doctor was in here without me? I don't like that. You need to like have a female present in the room when you're with a doctor.
Critical plot point, because this is the moment the mom decides that Dr. Beck might be a little creepy, right? Which definitely comes to play a little bit later as things start to escalate. So from here on out, she's like, I don't like Dr. Beck. Right?
Yeah, she knows something's going on, and she gives good advice. So, like, do not be alone with like a doctor in a room. You know, have someone else there. Be like, I'm not
Right.
comfortable with this. That's sound advice for anybody.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Let's all remember that for ourselves. And if you feel uncomfortable in the doctor's office, you need to say something. Okay?
Life lessons by Patrick.
There you go.
And Patrick's been in a doctor's office.
Oh,
I don't know how many times.
many
How many
doctor's
times?
office, and I've never felt uncomfortable because they're always very good. You know,
Good.
so many
You're not
times.
seeing Dr. Beck.
I'm not seeing Dr. Beck, but if he wants to take me to sushi, I am down. So Sophie's released from the hospital. She visits her boyfriend, who's been avoiding her and didn't visit her in the hospital. And he's basically is like, well, I didn't know, like, I didn't want you to be like seeing me like banged up, and I like. He's kind of like a lame boyfriend.
Yeah, he's like
Yeah.
playing video games with his feet up on his couch. Like when she comes into his room, he's like, "Leave me alone, mom!" Like super dick. Like
Not a good
almost like
boyfriend.
a South
Ugh.
Park character.
Oh, you got. Yeah.
Like he's Eric
That's what-
Cartman or something. Like
Totally.
I'm cheesy poops.
You had 3 scars on your face?
Right.
Good gross. I'm going to play Modern Warfare.
That was exactly it. So she was like trying to talk to him, and that's what he was doing. So
Yes.
character development.
So now it's the point in the movie where we start getting like fantasy sequences
Oh,
from
yeah.
Dr. Beck.
Point 3, I had to take a pause.
So he has a fantasy sequence where
A fantasy sequence?
this happens a lot in these movies, Drew. All the Stalked by My Doctor movies have sequences where he has very steamy sex scenes with the protagonist, the female protagonist.
Yeah.
But they're all in his brain.
Yeah.
So he has like a sex scene with this teenager, and then we find out that it's not real, and it was just him like reading a letter he wrote to think.
This is a trope in all movies that I hate
I hate it too.
the most. I hate I hate unless it's like funny and on purpose and weird and whatever.
Yeah.
Like I hate fantasy scenes and I hate dream sequences.
Yeah,
Like I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit.
I agree
Like
with you.
even if it's
100%.
supposed to like show like ooh, it's foreshadowing. I'm like, no, you're ruining it.
Nope.
You ruin everything when you show me
Well,
a dream sequence
because
or a fantasy sequence.
it discredits the storytelling. You're like,
Yes.
I don't believe anything now. Is this
Right.
Is this whole movie a dream sequence, which has happened in Lifetime movies? And I get
No, shut up.
very
Really?
angry.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh God. Why?
So I can't with
it's
the
like-
dream sequences.
and someone wakes up. It's like so horrible, and someone be like, "Oh, your dream. That was your dream. You made
At
me watch
least
your." It's
put a filter on it.
explaining.
Do like a blue filter, so I
Something.
know it's a dream, and
Right?
then I
Add
can.
a fog machine.
Or make it
Yes.
like
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like-
Do something to like change the way we perceive it. But yeah,
But even that don't though.
no, I'm not.
Still don't.
Drew,
You're right.
I'm not a fan of those either. But
I think it's a really lazy way to like make a story move forward. It just is like I don't
Well, and it's not
like-
even moving the story forward.
no.
exactly. It's literally like having someone explain a dream to you that they had.
Yes.
Well, I had a weird dream. Like I don't.
Well, it's like weird character development, but we've already like very clearly established that Dr. Beck is a complete asshole, right?
Right.
So
I don't have to see like his
We don't-
fantasies.
and we don't need to like have this. That's what we were saying. It becomes like this one-upmanship with itself. So,
Yeah. Where he's fucking a horse.
pretty
And then
much.
it's like
Right.
you're like what? What is this shit?
What the fuck?
What the fuck is going on?
So
This guy is really fucked up.
Yeah, right.
He's
But-
fucking a duck and a horse at the same time, and
Oh my
okay. Okay.
moving on. So, Dr. Beck is starting to stalk Sophie now. They run into each other at the mall, and Caitlin, the friend, is like, "Oh, this is so cool! Like you're friends with your doctor." But it's like kind of weird because she's a teenager, and he
invites
like,
him to a movie.
yeah, he's like, "I'm gonna go see a movie." I'm not inviting you, Caitlin. I'm not inviting you. I'm
Yeah, he
only inviting.
specifically did not invite Caitlin.
She wasn't there, but in my recollection of the movie, he points at her and he's like, "Not you. I'm talking to Sophie. You're invited to the movie."
Much. That is pretty much spot on, Patrick.
Yeah. Sophie's like, "I have to do homework, and I'm not going to a movie with Eric Roberts. But Eric Roberts, if you would like to take me to a movie and then take me to sushi, I will go."
Yeah. Sushi and then a movie. Yep. Sounds like a good date.
Actually, I wouldn't go now in these times, but I would go in like 2022. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Dr. Beck goes into an alley. He's rejected. He cries and like smashes boxes.
Yes, he's flailing around and like ridiculously
Kicking trash.
yelling, and he's yelling, "I am a doctor!" Like, of all the things you're going to yell repeatedly, not like
I mean, if I was a doctor, I would always yell that.
Yeah.
No matter what. In any argument, any situation, I would just yell,
I'm a doctor.
I love it.
It was absurd. It was I thought that was the fantasy sequence actually because I was like, this is so unbelievable.
Nope. That's just a Lifetime movie,
Yep.
Sam. That is what happens in Lifetime.
See, this was my first Lifetime movie, so it was an adventure.
Right. Totally.
Okay.
So he breaks into Sophie's house. He gets into her bed. He has another fantasy sequence about Sophie in lingerie, mounting him and kissing him. And the actress is really doing this. by
And
the
an
way.
ostrich was involved, and then the fucking ostrich laid an egg, and he fucked
No.
the egg.
No.
No? Oh, okay.
Then
But-
he ate it, scrambled it omelets.
He scrambled it.
What's
That's
funny
right.
here is that like it's implied that he's like was masturbating,
Yeah, I think it was more than implied. I think that was like, skywriting was happening. There was no implication. It was very clear.
Yeah, it was just like very uncomfortable because like that's weird.
Horribly uncomfortable.
Like
That is weird, even for Lifetime.
Even for
Lifetime doesn't really
Lifetime,
touch
I'm
up
like,
on masturbation. That
I
much.
don't need to see a masturbation scene
Yeah.
No one does. No one does. No one should.
ever. I mean, masturbating is fine.
I mean, if
you should do
look,
that.
if you're watching porn, if that's your thing, you want to watch people masturbate
right,
on porn,
whatever,
go.
man, but,
do
like-
it. Do it.
That's your business, but I don't need it in a Lifetime movie, and I
No.
don't need it in someone else's bed. That's just weird. Oh, beer too.
Beer too.
So,
The last name. Sam's last name.
Beer too.
yes. Sophie comes home and almost catches Dr. Beck in her bed. She has Ryan with him, and he, like, Dr. Beck goes in.
weirdly hiding in the closet.
Yeah, he instead of leaving, he hides in a closet.
And she's like, why is my room messy? Like, wouldn't you listen? It looked like her room was fucking pristine when he broke in. And then
Yeah.
it's like, everything is moved around. The blankets are all a tussle because he was in her bed jerking off or whatever, right?
Yeah.
If I walked in and saw
Cops.
that, I'd be like, we're going to take a pause from this conversation because some shit has gone down. I know
Exactly.
when people move my shit.
Well-
That is when you call the cops.
Yes.
That is when we need a cop.
Yeah.
Instead of
That
calling the cops,
particular
though,
thing is when we need a cop.
they sit down and they talk about God being a woman.
Yeah, weird.
Very random. Very random.
Yep. drop it.
Doesn't come back.
Nope.
Just cut that whole scene. And then Ryan gives Sophie his grandma's ring, okay? Because this is important, Drew. You need to remember the grandma's ring is like very ornate and like a grandma ring.
It's
And
all-
then they make out, and she's like, "Oh my God, this means that we're together again and we're friends."
Kind of like pre-engaged, engaged. I don't
Yeah.
know. It basically
The
like his
doctor gave
grandma's-
him.
No, the boyfriend Ryan,
Boyfriend.
the
Okay,
South Park
sorry.
character.
Right, yeah.
It was like a promise ring, right?
Here's my ring or whatever. Here's my
I know.
grandma's ring. Ugh.
Ugh.
So we cut to the mall again.
Modern
'cause,
warfare.
You know, teenagers hang out in the mall in 2015.
Yep.
And Dr. Beck gives Sophie an American Girl doll.
Yeah, weird.
And that's weird. But what's weirder is Sophie's like, "How did you know I love these?"
Also, she's 18 years old. Girl, give it up. Like, stop with dolls. I honestly, like, American Girl is not like a collector's item. I mean, some of them kind of are. Or that's
They're
marketing.
weird. They're weird.
I will say this, though. I will say this. An 18-year-old girl is still a child. It is still weird to me that 18 is like the adult age because it's
True.
not.
Fair,
They're still children.
Very true.
So, and that's why I think I could, like, I would assume that any 18-year-old girl who loved the American Doll girls when they were like 16 or 15 still love them at 18, and that means they're still children. Like they are.
Yeah, probably. I
Your
mean,
brain is still a child brain.
Well,
Like, you don't
she rejects the doll. She's like,
Yeah.
"No, thank you. This is creepy." And then we get another scene of Dr. Beck having a freak out, like tearing the doll apart, being like, "I'm a
smashing
doctor."
head. He's like stomping on the doll's head in his bathroom. And it's this weird, like, I don't know if they were trying to be kind of a little art house with it, but like, it really was this weird, like, cut scene of him, like, dismembering this, like, very beautiful doll and who looks very young, and then his heel, like, repeatedly beating down on the head. And I was like, what?
Oh man,
Intense.
they just keep going, huh? They just keep
Yeah.
going with how crazy he is.
Yep,
Okay.
yep, yep.
So Sophie sits down with her parents and she's like, "Guys, like, this doctor is stalking me. I feel uncomfortable. It's like a middle schooler trying to lose his virginity." That's a quote. Like,
Yep.
That's
That was.
a weird thing to say.
Especially to your parents, like, you know,
Right.
Presumably the conversation should be like, I am uncomfortable with this, and I feel like he's paying too much attention to me. That should pretty much be the conversation.
Yep.
Like,
And-
not having to quantify it, but
All
whatever.
right, cool. Getting a gun, calling the cops.
The mom is like very much on board with like, "This is terrible. Let's
Yep.
change doctors." The dad's like, "Oh, he's not that bad. He's Eric Roberts."
He literally says, boys will be boys. She should learn to deal with this. She's a beautiful woman, which is bullshit.
Even 2015,
Correct.
Awful.
that is not.
Correct.
That's terrible.
That's why the dad is trash garbage.
So the dad's a villain in this.
Pretty much.
Well, he's like a passive villain because like his conceit was, you know, he's one of the best cardiologists in like the tri-state area, which, you know, in California, there's also like a whole fuck ton of like actually very qualified doctors. So whatever, man. But he was like,
He just wants his girl to be married to a doctor.
Yeah, he should marry Dr. Beck. Whatever.
Yeah,
He should-
exactly.
You do it, dude.
So Dr. Beck is mad that the mom is like, "You cannot treat my daughter." So he pulls up her medical records and finds out she's allergic to penicillin, and then he ships her some penicillin
Yeah, he swapped her,
pills.
estrogen, like I think it was like a premenopausal or whatever pill, and he basically like swaps it so she gets the wrong shit and almost dies.
Yeah, she has a terrible reaction to the
Bullshit.
pills. Sophie finds her mother like,
walk out. I mean, yes, with support, but it was a very low key poisoning, I guess.
yeah.
Low key voice.
Yeah, I mean, she was clearly uncomfortable, but like,
It's a
oh,
low
bad
key.
stomach cramps, sort of uncomfortable, and I'm
I
sweating
prefer
a
a low
lot.
key poisoning.
Not,
Yeah.
not. Oh my God, I'm in a coma.
I'd
Fine.
be like, oh man,
Right.
not feeling great.
But
Yeah.
she gets admitted to the
Just sit on the
hospital,
toilet
and
for a
then
minute.
Sophie has another reason to be around Dr. Beck. And he's like, "You did a good job. You saved your mom's life." And she's like walking to her car in a parking garage, which you never want to be in a Lifetime movie. And she gets
No.
chloroformed, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But she manages to get away and like get into her car, and they have a high-speed chase scene
Yeah.
in a parking garage.
Which okay, so I just want to
Okay, that's
get in
fine.
that for a second. I think that's why they had to have the opening establishing shot that his car could speed that fast. That's the only rationale that I have, is that we needed to establish his car was a sports car.
Right.
He was a stuntman driver.
Yeah.
Stunt driver.
Yes.
Pretty much, because he rams the car into Sophie's car. He breaks the window with a tire iron, and he grabs her.
Yeah.
You know?
Chloroforms her again,
Smart.
grabs
Smart.
her. Because the first time didn't take. So one hell of a
Yes.
cardiologist and doctor there.
Oh, that's pretty because chloroform is like it's one of those things like used in movies so much, but like chloroform actually it'll
Wake up fairly quick.
it'll make you pass out, but as soon as you start breathing again without the chloroform on you, you're
fine.
you're
I mean,
awake.
probably not feeling great, but
No, but you're awake now. Like
Yeah.
it's like, oh shit, what the fuck?
so that's
So-
also when he lights her car on fire.
Yeah, because we basically get
Gotta light that car on fire though.
we
Gotta
come back
do
from
it.
like commercial, and it's like she's dead. Like Sophie's dead, and I'm like, what? Like
Yeah.
I'm like, no, like she's the protagonist of the movie. She's not dead, but they play it like she's really dead. We get like a sad montage of the car burning, and then the news report,
Yeah.
like doing a montage,
Oh,
like
and
a
it's
montage.
horrible news report too. It's like really bad superimposed graphics of like, here's a burning car with this really bad subtitles, and the mom is like, they pan out, and the mom is like, oh, I'm so upset.
Yeah,
It's bad.
and the parents identify the body and blah blah blah, and Ryan's
Burned
sad.
up, by the way. So the body, mind you, the doctor stole from the mortuary.
Yep.
So there was
Okay.
just a literally burned body to a crisp. So what they identified, clearly not dental records. Clearly they didn't try to pull any latent prints. I mean, you can actually do that, but whatever. They like did not do any postmortem. They were like, hey, is this burned up chicken wing your daughter? Yes. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's pretty much what it
Well,
was.
Sort of, detective. It sort of looks like a chicken wing. Nah,
I know. It's a woman.
it's
we're gonna say
it's a
yes.
person.
That's
It's
it.
a person.
So we see her. Sophie's actually alive. She's tied to a bed and gagged, and he's drugging her, and he's gonna take her to Mexico.
Well,
Da-da-da.
he brings her breakfast, which is like mashed potatoes and chicken.
Well, Sam, you're in the theater, don't you know? On stage, all you do is put food coloring and mashed potatoes, and then it's a turkey.
No,
You
but
know?
like they've hit. So he walks up this. That's true. That is 100% true. But like they have this weird shot where he's walking up the stairs carrying this plate of food, and you've like very clear that it clearly see mashed potatoes and like a turkey or a chicken, like sliced chicken,
Yeah.
almost like it's a dinner. But if you
Mhm.
look at like the angle of the sun and stuff, it's also very clearly morning. So I don't know what he was eating the night before or what was happening.
Hey man, you got
love-
some leftovers?
Yeah, I love leftovers.
That's
So-
true. That's true. But,
Um,
He's like, I'm not gonna cook.
so
right now.
right?
Not in the mood.
Ryan, the boyfriend, realizes that the body, like he goes to he's like, something's weird, something's fucky with this. He goes to talk to the nurse, and he's like, they
It
give
looks
him-
like a chicken.
yeah, it looks
Did
like a
anyone
chicken wing.
notice that? I'm just a stupid
he
kid
gets,
that
like,
plays
the
Modern
bag
Warfare.
of like her remains or whatever, and the ring is not his grandma's ring.
Yes.
That's
That's
What?
the linchpin.
it is.
The
And he-
whole plot crux right
There
there.
Yep.
it is.
He talks
There
to
it is.
Sophie's mom. She's like, "You're right." They like go talk to Dr. Beck, and they like accuse him. They're like, "You did something," and he's like, "I didn't. I didn't."
But he
they're
did, like when they knocked on the door, he like looked out his window and he was like, "Oh shit, it's the mom and boyfriend. I better chloroform her again and throw her in like this tiny trunk."
Right.
Uh,
Because I think he was going to take her to Mexico, Sophie.
yeah,
but-
I think that was the end goal. But
So
Okay.
he sends them away. He's like, they like search the premises and find nothing. And then Sophie decides like her tactic will be to pretend to be in love with him suddenly. And she's
Random,
like,
because that has ever worked with kidnapping, but
oh.
right?
It happens a lot in Lifetime movies, actually.
Oh, God.
I know, it's awful.
What a horrible world you've put me in, Patrick. By the
Well,
way. I just want to point that out.
It is.
It's not, but it's not real.
It's not real.
It's not
But
real.
she's
maybe
like,
a little bit.
She calls him an expert on her body because he's the surgeon, and she's like,
yes.
I want you to like touch my body.
Yeah, it was weird.
That was really weird.
It was around there that I had to take a pause again and be like, okay, I need to start drinking now. Well,
I'm gonna go outside.
I'm not going to lie.
Light a fire.
Everything before that's when I just started drinking more rapidly.
I was going to say, that's your mistake. You have to watch these while drinking.
But it takes a while to walk from my living room to the kitchen. So that's, I think, when I was like, I should just get 3. And
Very fair. So she like is making out with him or whatever, gets her hands untied and grabs a steak knife and tries to stab him. And she's like, I hate you. But he overpowers her and reties her. And then he's crying.
Should have gone for the dick.
And he goes into a crazy monologue, and I wrote the monologue down, Drew, because it's iconic. It's like
it's good. It's good. Are you going to read it?
I'm going to read it.
You're doing a reading right now?
I can't do it as good as Eric Roberts, but I will read it.
Yes.
So he says, I gave you your life, and I can easily take it away. I can reach in your chest and make the heart do anything I want. You want to stab me? I'll take your arms. You want to run from me? I'll take your legs. You want to scream at me? I'll take your voice. And then you will need me to take care of you for the rest of your life. Because who's going to want an armless, legless mute like you?
Who uses the word mute, by the way? I
know.
Want to throw that out there. That also was a very that was a moment for me where I was like,
It's a dated.
Really?
A mute? Yeah, like
it's like
I don't know. I actually don't. I don't know what. Like, what is that called now? Like, what's the word for like someone who can't speak?
Quiet. I don't know.
Because I feel like that's like where instead of deaf you say hearing impaired.
Correct.
Or vocally impaired. I guess I don't know.
Maybe.
I just I don't like. I feel like there's a new. You know, you don't say the R word, you say mentally challenged or whatever.
Yes.
So like, so I'm wondering, like, I actually don't know if there's a word for mute. If I'm saying it and it offends anyone, I'm sorry. Please let us know if there's a different word for that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I have no idea because it's not something that we talk about a lot in culture. So,
no,
interesting.
No, it's probably pretty rare, though. I imagine, right? I don't know.
I don't know.
Look, I don't know anything.
So Sophie realizes she's like about to be in a very dangerous situation.
Yeah, because he had like busted out so after his monologue,
surgery,
he goes storming downstairs and he starts setting up on his kitchen counter like a surgery station, which involves like scalpels and tools, which is fine. But you generally can't take that from a hospital, so whatever. But then he also was spreading out like napkins. Like tiny napkins, as if that was going to absorb the massive amounts of blood of, dismembering a human being. But
napkins.
I was kind of like intrigued by that. I was like, "Where are you going with this, buddy? Like,
where are you going with the napkins, bro?
What is your game plan here on a kitchen counter, a very nice granite counter? I'll give you, in what looks like a developing neighborhood.
They always have the best houses in Lifetime.
Yeah, it looked beautiful, but I was like, that's going to leave a few stains, and those napkins aren't going to cut it. Cotton, silk, or not. Well,
I feel like
man.
I feel like all these movies, it's the producer's house that they use because the producers just use my house. Like I don't.
Yep, it's true.
We don't need to spend money on a house. I got a fucking house. We can use my house.
Just fucking right here. I'll move some shit.
I'm gonna save. We save some money. Boom.
Probably not my place.
Use my house.
It's not.
So
wouldn't be my place.
Sophie fights Dr. Beck. She hits him with a lamp, knees him with the balls, beats him with the golf club. She's going all tactics of fighting for her life.
Yeah. So, but I just want to point out that when she was in the bed, she did not have shoes on. At some point between her escaping and running down the stairs, She found a pair of shoes and slipped them on. I don't know where they came from. That actually really bothered me. I was like, I don't blame you. I don't like walking around barefoot either, but why would you stop to find shoes if you're escaping?
Yes.
I mean, and it's nice shoe. You got to find the best shoes.
Yeah, and
if you're running
fit perfectly.
Hey, it happens. Well, escape she does. She escapes, and this was a nice little darkly comedic moment that I don't really see in Lifetime a lot. She gets to her house, and they're having a memorial service for her.
Yeah.
And she like walks into the room, and she sees the picture, and they're like eulogizing her, and then like everybody's like, "Oh my God, she's here!"
Alive!
Like a woman like faints, and it felt like a Medea. I felt like a Medea family reunion type of movie.
It did. Like, yes, there was a woman who fainted. There was someone who was like doing almost the slow clap of like, I don't know where she came from.
Fuck
she
yeah.
was live with the police, by the way. At no point did anybody think to call like an actual authority or a lawyer or anything.
None of that.
Point that out throughout the entire movie.
Well, and that's where Lifetime can get bogged down, Sam. So like, if that had happened, this movie would have run like 2 hours, like with commercials. It would probably be like it'd be like 3 hours long. So
well,
the family hugs and everything, and everyone laughs at the end pretty much, and like they're all happy.
Yeah, again, why? She's literally in like a surgical gown and has just escaped with her life, and people are like, ha 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 ha! Like there's literally a couple who's like laughing and throwing their head back out of like,
oh man, we totally thought you were dead.
I'm right. Like, why wouldn't you be like, holy shit, you're alive? We need to call someone. There's not just cops, but also a lot of paperwork to like undead someone. By the way, like those are
to undead them.
So then we cut to the police. They don't find Dr. Beck at his house because he's in Cabo San Lucas speaking Spanish to a waitress, preparing for his next date with me.
Oh, well, that's
and it does
fun.
actually.
That's a nice little ending.
I do have to say I appreciated the bookending philosophy of the way that they started the movie and the way they ended the movie. Like they started with his smug face, waiting for a date, and that is exactly how they ended it. And it was I like horror movies and stuff, so I tend to like that format of like, oh, okay, we're going to establish, and then we're going to come back to it.
And the fact that it's like, oh no, the guy's still out there, like the killer's still out there, and it's like doing that kind of stuff. It's like any kind of like, any Freddy or Jason or anything like that, where it's like it's a killer or Michael Myers or whatever. So
and they set it up for more movies, so they did a good job at creating a franchise.
Go for it. I say go for it. Like whenever that happens, it's just like, dude, if you're setting up a thing where it's just like, oh, and all this happens, and whoa, and then it's just that little wink at the end, like what was it, Silence of the Lambs, the same thing, where it's just like, oh shit, we're the main character is actually the killer. So I do appreciate that. I appreciate they kind of followed that little.
And this is one of the most popular franchises on Lifetime. So like, Stopped by a Doctor, it tracks it. Like, I don't know, the ratings are very good for this for some reason. People really like it.
Everybody has comments. Everybody has like really like interesting backstory stuff where they're like, and a lot of people are asking if these are real stories, by the way.
Yeah.
Online.
Maybe in a way.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure some kind of
inspired by true events.
Loosely.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Very loose.
Loosely inspired.
There was a cardiologist who went on a date one time.
Right.
And that was the true part.
This is the true part.
Okay, so that wraps up our conversation about Stalked by My Doctor on the podcast, Sam. We either pour it up or put a cork in it. What are you going to do to this movie?
Which is which?
Pour it up means yay. Put a cork in it means no thank you. Would not recommend.
Put a cork in it.
Great.
Putting a cork in it?
Yep. This is not, listen, for like horror movie fans and for fans of, like, I watch Star Trek and stuff like that. So this is not my cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
However, I enjoy the podcast. So.
Yes. Well, They're two different things. No,
They are.
so yeah.
I would not go out of my way to watch this movie at all.
Yeah. that's
Drew,
fair.
how about you?
Not having seen it and just being explained to it and the fun that I had with it today, I would say I'm going to pour it up. I'm going to pour it up because the couple of those trope reasons that you were talking about with like horror movies and that kind of shit, where it's like, he didn't. Oh, he's somewhere. He survived and he's somewhere and he's going to do it again.
You need
And then-
need a bottle to go with you on that journey, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Just a,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And I've had part of a bottle listening to you guys tell me about it.
Nice.
And so I'll say, and you know, it's Eric Roberts, man. I'm going to pour it up. I'm pouring it up.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I learned a lot about him. I would watch his stuff.
He's good, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would also pour it up for this one because it kicks off a franchise. The middle of the franchise, probably not the best. But the end of the franchise, the sleepwalking, what is it? Stalked by My Doctor, A Sleepwalker's Nightmare, actually was pretty good. So the
Wait, you
bookends
watched
of
that?
I've watched that, yeah. I watched that for like my own personal like life for fun. I didn't cover it on the podcast. I would recommend those two, and then the middle ones I'd say just skip them. But Eric Roberts is really good at anything he's in. He knows what he's doing, and he understands it's a Lifetime movie, and he really just commits to that craziness, which is funny.
Does.
And I think if you look at it as a dark comedy, it's golden. As a horror movie, it's terrible. Like I love horror as well. And I know Sam loves horror movies. We'll start our horror movie
so
podcast,
hard.
but
Yes, I will review all the shitty horror movies for you.
there you go. So
There's no such thing as a shitty horror movie.
that's
There
true.
are. Oh my
they're
god, I
always
love
fun.
them. I love the shitty horror movies.
That's what I mean. There's no such thing
They
as
are,
like
they are
They're
the
great.
best.
House of Wax.
even-
House of
even
Wax,
a sh-
everyone.
even a
So
shitty
good.
horror movie is fucking amazing.
We'll do like a bonus House of Wax episode on our page.
Yes.
That would be so fun.
Yeah.
I would love that. Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes, please.
Well, let's do a Candace.
Okay.
A what?
Let's do a little Candace Campbell Bure.
Candace Cabaret. Here we go.
Wait, no. What is that?
Oh,
Don't,
this is.
don't worry. We'll explain it.
We'll explain it, but first
We have to pause for
play.
the theme song.
What you say, Candace Cameron Bure. On my wedding day, catch that bouquet. Candace hates the gays. Candace Cameron Bure. Drinking rosé, eating creme brulee. Can't share with me. Candace Cameron Bure. Yeah. What you say, Candace Cameron Bure.
Okay, and we're back. So, Sam, you don't know what a Candace is. Candace Cameron Bure from Fuller House. You know her.
Yep.
And she's a little problematic with the gays. So we have the theme song that you just heard to kind of not necessarily make fun of her, but keep her in our sights and make sure she's like being a good person. And
Keep her close.
Keep her close to the keep your enemies close and keep your enemies closer, or whatever the saying is.
Friends close, enemies closer.
You know, like
No, I think it is. It's keep your enemies close, and then keep your enemies closer. I think that is.
right. That's it. I
I'm
think.
gonna embroider that on a T-shirt.
There you go. So, you know, we just like to check in on Candace. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play a clip for you to listen to, and then we'll talk about it, okay?
Okay.
Normally, these are video clips that I show you, but since we're on Zoom,
Hold on.
I just play the audio.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotta
You're
crack
going
another
to
one.
need that. All right, here we go. It's a short one.
So sore, and my hip flexors are really sore. Because of a TikTok video. I didn't post it. Oh my gosh, see, this is why I'm too old to TikTok.
Okay.
It
So-
is why you're too old to TikTok.
So Candace in quarantine has been really getting into TikToks because her kids told her TikTok was cool, and she injured her back doing a TikTok dance, and decided to post about it on Instagram because I follow her on Instagram. So you don't have to. Please don't follow her.
Do not follow her.
Thank you for taking the hit for all of us.
You're welcome.
He's like Jesus. Patrick is basically like Jesus Christ.
You're running in that firing line, and we all appreciate that because
So my question for you, Sam, is: do you do TikTok? Do you know about TikTok? Do you care about TikTok?
I know of TikTok. I do not do TikTok.
Right.
It is a
Don't
spyware
think I
software
really
made by
care
the
about
Chinese.
TikTok. Although some things are amusing, but only if they're cross-posted to other like platforms. Because I don't like regularly. I don't have the app. I don't participate in that. So it has to go through like a filtration to reach me because I'm an old person, right?
Yeah.
Well, and TikTok is a garbage app. It's made by the Chinese. It's absolutely like the stuff that it takes, like the stuff that it takes from your device when you install it. That's required to like. It's like allow.
Oh, really?
It does.
I'm all up on
it. It does so many allows.
No.
I know your last name is.
If I have to hit more than like 3 allows, the app is not allowed in my life.
Off the grid.
It's just not.
So it's like you would think.
That's my dream. Off the grid. I want to go totally off. But okay. Yes. Okay.
If you did when you because I wanted to see like what it allowed one time just to see like because I work in fraud and stuff, so I wanted to see like how many things it wanted to look at in my phone, and so I was just like I allowed it. And then just to see, and it was like, your photos. Okay, that makes sense. It's TikTok. Your video. Okay, that makes sense. Your audio. Okay, that makes sense. Beyond that, it should not at all take anything else. It was like your browser settings on Chrome, your browser settings on Firefox, your browser settings on this, your settings on this. Your fucking like it was asking like what like. Your contacts, oh my god, it was like,
oh my god,
this is garbage.
Those like, what does the internet know about you? Things.
Yeah, pwners. Have I been pwned? That's one that everyone needs to look at.
What is it called?
Because everyone has been.
I
want
to do it. What is it called?
Haveibeenpwned.com. You just put your email. It's PW. So it's PWNED. Have I been pwned?
Okay, I want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, everyone should look at that. Our listeners, too, you should look at that.
Yep.
I 100% guarantee you everyone has been pwned at least once.
Yep.
Or twice.
It sounds
like,
cute.
On something.
It sounds like adorable.
Yeah. Have I been pwned?
That sounds fun.
But no, it's actually like, yeah.
What is it?
Your identity.
Your identity?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay.
No, it's have you, like, if your account credentials have been, like, taken.
Yep.
Well, someone logged into my Netflix in Turkey, so.
Shut up.
Someone.
Wait, what they watch? I want to know that.
I have no idea. I didn't look into it. I just got the email to change my password. I was like, I guess I'll change my password.
Well, I started seeing like kids cartoons, like on my Hulu one time, and I was like, nope,
Something's happening.
Something's fucky. Yep.
Okay.
So you just and literally all you have to do to fix it is change your password.
Yep.
There you go.
That's it. Done.
Okay.
Internet privacy.
Internet security, internet privacy.
It is important.
Yes.
There you go. Wonderful.
Sorry, what was your actual TikTok question?
No, that was what
was
you're
it?
supposed to do. You did the Candace Cameron Bure segment perfectly. And now it is time for pluggy time. So, Sam, do you have anything you'd like to plug in the pluggy time? Usually people do their social media, but you could do a cause you like or something
Like any
else.
concerts that you are performing or
something.
all the theater that's happening.
Right.
God, if you asked me any other time, I would actually have something to say, but like it's the in-between times where we don't have things going on, right?
Right.
Trash world. We live in trash world.
Fight the power.
Okay. There you go. Drew, how about
Black Lives Matter.
How about you?
Yeah.
Anything you'd like to plug in the pluggy time?
Yeah, definitely. Black Lives Matter. Defund the police. Fucking. Follow me on my Instagram at Drew But With Pants, and get on Spotify in your own home, in the safety of your own home, and listen to my band, The Limbos.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look that up.
They're pretty good.
Pretty
Very
good.
fun.
Yeah, I'm not on social media really. So sorry, Drew.
You're good. You're
It's
good.
just
Part of
Spotify.
it.
Pull it up on Spotify, the Limbos.
You have Spotify though.
Well, thank you both for being here.
Yeah.
And it's been so fun. And thank you, listeners, for checking back in with Lifetime Court. We watch these movies, you don't have to, but if you do, we'd love to hear from you. You can follow me at Patrick Miguel or the podcast at Lifetime Court. Don't forget to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. Okay, goodbye.